And so Jeff is one of my best buddies. He's how many? Give Jeff. How many companies in North Carolina have you went in and evaluated operations?
About 563.
Yeah. So his job, a government job, was to help drive businesses' revenue up so they could pay more taxes to the government. Wow. Right? The better the company does, the more the government makes. So the university that he worked with, Alamance Community College, that was their job. What do you call it? Outreach?
Economic development.
Economic development. So he's got a concept of growing companies and what they deal with, and has a unique way of putting it to explain it. So kind of do the, it's a line right here, this, and then the 8 steps, and then the 8 steps, where they belong, the culture.
So we'll give you the academic definition, and then if that's okay to start off with the academic definition, then we'll apply it to corporate America, then we'll apply it to us, and we'll see where there's some similarities, right, and where we fit into that. It's a good baseline to start. So culture, golly, one of the best ways to describe culture is, I got in trouble doing this one time in California. I was talking to a company that I really, I mean, this company's the only one that really made me cry every time I walked in the lobby, because they made baby's breast milk for preemies. And they had this huge lobby like this, and it had a little picture of every baby they ever saved. If you can't find your why going in there, that was pretty impressive. But I was talking to their group about culture, and I always use this axiom number 2. It's some mathematical formula. I'm terrible at math. I'm really bad at math. I don't know anything about it. I have no business talking about math. But I was talking about math because I'll talk about anything if I don't think you know what I'm talking about. Because then I become an expert in the room. So everybody's like, they don't know what I'm talking about. So Abraham Lincoln, I just stole it from Abraham Lincoln. He just took that axiom and he said, people that are equal to one another is because they're equal to the same thing. And that's what culture is. But this guy in the back of the room was wearing corduroy. That's a bad sign when they're wearing them in July, corduroy in July. And he had piping, that piping patching right here, and he had a pipe. He had a beard. And he just kind of looked smart. And I kept watching him listening to me, and I talked about that mathematical formula. And at the end, I said, does anybody know what that means? And he raised his hand. He goes, yeah, kind of. I said, how do you know it, sir? I'm the head of the math department at UCLA. So I'm not going to talk about math. Let's stick to what I know. So I'm a sociologist, so my expertise is in culture. So I'm just going to abbreviate, if that's okay, and then we'll add to it. These are pluses in between. What do they stand for? This is a belief system, plus a value system, plus a norm system, plus a role system. That just sounds really boring, right? I had to tell you, I would take this into companies and like, can I go ahead and just translate it real quick? Well, you all know what a role system is, because boy, in corporate America, we will hide behind a role system. You know what it is? A job description. That's the worst thing you can give to an employee, a job description. Because once they say, well, that's all I'm going to do, this right here, no more, no less. And they start putting in their 8 and hitting the gate. All right? That's job description. Now, we do have a job description, by the way. We do have one. I'll put our abbreviations right here. Sell, recruit, and build. That's our job description. So that's where we fall into the role system. That is our job description. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. Bill, you knew that, right? That's our job description. Let's back up and go over here. Belief system. What is our belief system? And a belief system in a corporate America is a mission statement or a vision statement. And I've written a bunch of them for companies. But a mission statement is basically telling you what that company does. A vision statement is telling you why they do it. That's the two difference between the mission and the vision. What is our mission and vision? What is our belief system spelled out? Andy just said it. Have fun, make money, and make a difference. Which one of those three do you think holds us together the most? It's the fun. And you know, when I first came in, I'm thinking, I came from corporate America. We weren't allowed to have fun. Listen, I didn't want to go nowhere with those people. I don't think I ever spent a Saturday or Sunday with any of those people that I worked for 30 years. It doesn't mean I didn't like them. I just didn't want to be around them after being around them Monday through Friday. In this culture, it's contagious about how much you guys like each other. If you're brand new to this, it kind of feels cultish, but you know, and I thought it was a cult when I first got here, and I was sitting there going, why do these, are they giving them drugs? What is, I remember my first conference, and I'm sitting there, and all these people on the front row, and everybody, it just freaked me out because they were staring at me intently. I've never had students do that in my life. They're all looking down at their phones, texting their boyfriend or girlfriend who's walking outside like a caged animal waiting for them to get out of a 50-minute class. And I'm sitting there going, these people are thirsty. I'm not freaked out by it anymore because I like the fact you pay attention to me. When I go back to corporate America, that's when it freaks me out because they're all not paying attention to me. And I'm like, you know, y'all are not like the Alliance. I want to go back to the Alliance where I feel like you actually like me and care about me and you're attentive. Even if you don't, you act like you do. So have fun is a big deal. If you've never been on one of our trips, you can see our culture come to life on that trip. I'll tell you what, some of you will write business like crazy just to get to a trip. I'm thinking, do you just make money so you can go on a trip? Some of you do. It's quite amazing. It's quite amazing. Now, the value system. That would be, in a company, it is no different in corporate America than what we got here. Now, that's kind of intentional because I wrote the book about values and behaviors for the Alliance. So I wrote it just like I would write it for corporate America. So it is identical. And our 8 core values. Now, we got 8 core values. 4 of them, corporate America would approve. 4 of them, they ain't got no clue. That's what separates us from corporate America. 4 of those, like you, I have never seen a core value. I'll just put 8 values here, 8 core values, or 8 core principles if you want to call them. Then we have 24 behaviors behind those that I wrote. But like gratitude, I had never before I came here saw gratitude as a core value. It had to grow on me. I was like, this is quite amazing. Gratitude? Now you see integrity, you see accountability, you see respect, you see those standards, right? But community, never saw community before. Compassion, we're basically telling people this is who we are. We're compassionate human beings. You never see that in corporate America. Some of you came from corporate America. Do you agree with me? You don't see that level of care. They don't really care if we like each other as long as we get the job done. Here, having fun is part of the formula. All right, so now we get to what we came for, right? The 8 steps belong here. This is the 8 steps. Norms. Norms is a fancy word for, in corporate America, this is what held corporate America together, by the way. This is where we're almost in direct comparison to corporate America. This is where we are really tight with them because this is what they call policies and procedures. Now, where they differ from us is those policies and procedures. They can tell you they want you to do one of these 8 steps, and they have their steps. But if you don't do them in corporate America, guess what happens to you? You get fired. You get written up first. You get an oral warning. Then you get a written warning. Then you get walked out. We don't mandate the 8 steps. They're heavily suggested. And we got away from suggesting them. We just kind of like by osmosis, we thought you'd just take that book and sleep on it and then you'd have them. You got to remind yourself what they are. And you got, and most important, we got to put them into practice. And we've got to, you don't need to learn them just for you. You need to pass them along. So that's the 8 steps. Now, in corporate America, this is what I have to deal with when I go into, now, some of them got their act together. Man, going to Google in California, they got their act together. Chick-fil-A, obviously. It's impressive. All that stuff, like, it's been my pleasure, that's not by accident. That's intentional. Those people, they have to say that. That is part of the deal, right? So I've been in some impressive places. I've been in some places that I was, scared to be in. But I'm just drawing a line right here because corporate America does this. They push these heavily because they're legislating behavior here. Which, if you do heavy legislation here, you'll force people to only do just enough to get by. That's the danger. But they do this really well. They give lip service to this. This is some slogan on a wall, and that's all it is. They don't live it. They don't breathe it. But what we see in here walking around, this culture is everywhere. It's intentional, isn't it? It's very intentional. But here's what you want to know, and then I'll shut up. These are here to drive these. These 8 core values are to make sure that we keep having fun the right way. We make, make money and make a difference. I'm coughing for a second. All right. The 8 steps are put here to make sure you do that. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. My job when I used to go into companies was to do this. To actually have a great culture, I had to go in there, and we called it the connecting bridge of culture in sociology. If I could somehow or another have the core values complement the 8 steps and the 8 steps complement the core values, then I knew my job was done and I went on to the next company. But that's what I went in to do, is to do that. And you know what I would do? I would go out on the plant floor. They wanted me to meet in these boardrooms with all the head honchos. I'm like, I don't want to meet with none of your people like that. I want to meet the hourly guy that's out there running a sock machine making socks. I want to go out there and meet that boarder, and I want them to bring them in the room. Bring me the guy off the paint line at Honda. Bring me in. I want to meet these people, and I want to ask them their definition of these things that are plastered all over the wall. And guess what? If I interviewed 20, I got 20 different definitions. And you know what? When you start interpreting these things, you got chaos. And when you got chaos, you don't have no culture. We got to be on the same page. We got to keep telling people what we are and who we are. So this is my attempt to kind of like bring everything we are together.